They used a perpetual pot to turn scraps into daily meals across Depression-era Europe. If you study Europe's interwar years closely, you notice a quiet pattern that kept families fed when wages collapsed and food prices spiked. Before we get into it, if this kind of grounded, no-nonsense history matters to you, subscribe to Warpaths of Europe, like the video, and leave a comment with what period you want us to cover next. Now, let's get straight to the method. The perpetual pot was the backbone of survival kitchens during the Great Depression. Across Central and Eastern Europe, and in working-class districts from Germany to the Balkans, households kept a single pot on or near the stove that was never fully emptied. Whatever was available went in: bones, peelings, stale bread, cabbage cores, barley, turnips, nettles, or a handful of dried legumes. Each day the pot was topped up with water and whatever new ingredient could be found. This wasn't poverty theatre. It was calorie management, nutrient extraction, and fuel efficiency combined into one system. Slow extraction turned waste into nourishment. Bones simmered for days released fat, collagen, and minerals. Even when there was no meat left, the broth carried energy and micronutrients that could sustain labourers. Bread crusts thickened soups and replaced flour. Potatoes and root vegetables bulked the pot cheaply while providing carbohydrates. Fermented vegetables like sauerkraut added acidity, preserved vitamins, and prevented spoilage. Nothing went in raw if it could be pre-cooked once and stretched across several meals. Daily rotation kept meals safe and filling. Contrary to modern fears, these pots were kept safe by regular boiling. Each morning or evening, the soup was brought back to a rolling boil before serving. In cold climates, the pot often sat near a masonry stove that retained heat overnight. Families learned how to skim fat for reuse, remove spent bones, and rebalance flavours with salt or vinegar. The result was not gourmet food, but it was consistent, warm, and sustaining. This wasn't done in isolation. Neighbours shared methods, swapped surplus ingredients, and pooled fuel. In some towns, entire stairwells or courtyards maintained shared pots, with each family contributing something small. This reduced individual risk and ensured no single household ran out entirely. It was a decentralised system that functioned without charity or state intervention. This method still applies today with minimal adjustment. A modern equivalent is keeping a weekly broth base using bones, vegetable trimmings, and grains refreshed daily. For a survivalist, this means maximising calories from limited supplies while conserving fuel. For a historian recreating period practices, it demonstrates how European households manage scarcity without ration cards. Even today, a single pot can feed a family cheaply for days, especially when paired with bread or potatoes. You know, the real lesson here is disciplined continuity, not just desperation. The perpetual pot worked because it was maintained every single day, not because it was some clever trick. Depression-era Europeans survived by treating food as a system, not just a series of meals. And honestly, that mindset is what's been forgotten over time. So, if you value serious practical history like this, go ahead and subscribe to Warpaths of Europe. Share this with someone who studies survival history and, well, leave a comment with your thoughts or corrections. This channel really exists for people who care about how the past actually worked. Battlefield survival.